there, my name's MC, also known as Amber, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I mainly make music and post it on SoundCloud and YouTube, but today I'm going to be doing something a little different, so without further ado, let's get on with the video. Guys, I know this might be weird considering that this is my first non-music related video and I'm showing my face for the first time, so kind of feels weird, but yeah, I'm here to give you guys a pep talk about AP Lang composition and what you guys need to do to be successful in class next year. So, one of the many pieces of advice a person has asked me to give I'll give you today is, what does next year's students need to know to be successful in this class? And what are tips for success? Okay, so as many of us know, AP Lang consists of two parts of the exam. The MCQs, the multiple choice questions, and the FRQs, which are the 3 essays you have to complete. On the first part of the exam is going to be the MCQ, which is the multiple choice questions. It consists of 45 questions and you have around 60 minutes to complete them. Sounds easier, right? Well, it's more easier said than done. But when you're looking at the multiple choice questions, it's going to be many essays that vary from answering like what the author is saying to using punctuation and grammar correctly and how to fix it for the author. It's a bunch of different things to help make sure that you know what you're doing and if you did good enough for AP Lang this year. So yeah, the essays is pretty long in my opinion, so you have to make sure you read it carefully, and several of the questions are going to be connected to the same prompt, so make sure you're paying attention, guys. You get 4 questions, you get four answers to pick from out of the multiple choice, and I remember last year Miss Moffat, our teacher for AP Lang, stating that it used to be 5 but they knocked it down to 4, so yay, 25% chance, am I right? But the good thing to know is when you're reading the essay and then you're reading the questions, you can obviously see that 2 out of the 4 of them are way off right away. As you can see right here, it makes no sense, right? So yeah, after you take out the 2, it's a 50-50 shot at getting it right. But be careful though. The exam, they're going to be trying to trick you. College Board will be trying to trick you and making sure that you're actually paying attention to what is being said. So even though the 2 remaining answers will be correct in some way, it's not going to be entirely correct. So make sure that you're really paying attention to the essay and understanding the passage and following the answers step by step and just reading and making sure, because that's the main way of knowing that you got it right or not. And remember guys, it's all worth the same point at the end of the day, so if you're spending way too much time on one question, just bookmark it and then go to the next question, and if you have any time left remaining out of the 60 minutes, go back to that one and make sure that you read it right and make sure that you put an answer on it. And when you're done, always double, triple check your work. I cannot stress this enough, guys. Even if you know for sure that you got it right, you have to make sure, especially if you still have time on the clock, because you should just try your best and spend all the seconds you got on it, because it's an exam, guys. You only take it once a year, you know? So, after the MCQs, the next part are the FRQs. It consists of the rhetorical, synthesis, and argumentative essays, and in total, you get 2 hours and 15 minutes to do all of that. Of course, you don't have to do them all in that exact order. You can pick and choose, but remember, you only get a certain amount of time, so be wary, and you don't get any breaks in between, so just make sure and watch the timer at the upper part of there when you can. So I'll just be talking about the rhetorical essay first, and it's just about rhetorical devices the author uses towards the audiences, aka you. So example includes oxymoron, allusion, irony, simile, metaphor, analogy, and there's so many others to choose from as well. Once discussing what devices that the author uses, you have to explain how it works, why they're using it, and what they're trying to convey to the audience. Okay, the next part is the synthesis essay, which is the one that I'm not really that familiar with, but it's so easy to understand. I just have not been able to work on it a lot this year, so I'm hoping it changes for next year's class though. But yeah, it's like writing a research paper, and you have to pick a stance on what you agree with. You use 3 sources, at least 3 sources, and how they support your claim for said stance. Make sure you tie them in together and always explain how it connects to your main idea in literature. Okay, the last part is the argumentative essay, and it's pretty self-explanatory and one of my favorite parts out of all of the AP Lang exams. And for this year, because you basically talking about your experiences or things throughout history or events that you know of. So if you love debating at all whatsoever, this one is the perfect one for you. Like synthesis, you're not going to be getting your own resources or any sources like that. It just all has to come from here. And if you're a bit stuck and can't really think of a source right away on the spot, there's always a good method called the CHORS method. CHORS stands for current events, history, outside knowledge, reading, entertainment, sports, and science as well. I remember that all in my head, guys. And it's one of the many methods that I use in class to help come up with ideas on what to talk about if we couldn't think of any as quickly as we wanted to in our head. Because remember, it's only 2 hours to do this. And this year's topic for the argumentative was about pessimism and optimism and how they intertwine and connect with each other, which is a bit confusing at first, but yeah, that's why the CHORS methods helps with your argumentative essay, and you can pick which side you're on, whether you agree with that or disagree with that. You just gotta come up with your own stuff for it. But if you don't have any, just make it up, man. But of course, don't say something crazy like having pet unicorns relates to optimism, because that's just stupid. Why so serious? Okay, so I want to remind you guys one more time. Today we've covered about the MCQs and how they're all worth the same points, aka 1 point, and how immediately you can eliminate 2 out of the 4 answers because they're the most obvious to not choose from. So yeah, no brainer. With rhetorical essay, it uses devices on how the author explains where, how, and why they're using the device. With synthesis essay, it's like writing a research paper, and you use 3 sources that explain your stance on it and how it intertwines and connects to each source together, and how it goes back to the main idea of what you said in the beginning in your thesis. Finally, with your argumentative essay, honestly, it's just about debating on a topic and whether you agree with the author or not. And of course, using the CHORS method of current events, history, outside knowledge, reading, entertainment, sports, and science. I got that in my head, guys. So yeah, that's basically how it is. And I hope that CHORS method helps you. But yeah, I covered all the topics and tips you guys need to pay attention to when taking the test. And don't forget to study using the Blue Book as well, because you're going to be taking the test on the Blue Book. So it helps give you an idea on where the timer is, on what hints you need to understand, like how much each section is either worth or... Yeah, I don't know, guys. But remember, guys, scoring a 2 or 1 on the AP Lang exam, it's not the end of the world. And I know English might be like, oh, I don't need to study for it at all, because English is my first language. But yeah, just because English is your first language doesn't mean you should put this off until the last day, because AP Lang is supposed to confuse you and make you doubt yourself. So make sure you're studying the materials, listen to your teacher and do your work on time, which I never do. I'm kidding. Miss Moffat, I do my work, I promise you. And yeah, just do your work, ask questions if needed, do the practice test. If you have a school library that has filled with AP Lang exam question examples, read that, and that will help you, and it gives you the correct answers as well. So yeah, it's all really helpful, but yeah, it's not in the world, guys. Like, you'll still move on, you'll live happily ever after. So yeah, but I wish you guys good luck for next year's AP Lang exam. And if you guys have any questions for me, comment down below, but subscribe, like the video, and peace.